Okay, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Scaggy Bones, I'm your host, and as I promised, we're going to be doing the tubeless setup on the stands rims. Now, some people would put the disc rotors on and the cassette on, but I don't want to do that just yet, okay? So the cassette we're going to take apart clean when we get it off, which will be part of the video. I'm going to put the disc rotors on the bike, the wheels as well, but so I don't get everything dirty and get soap on it and get grease and get my fingers all over it. Since everything's off the wheels right now, we're going to start off with doing the tubeless conversion, which is an earlier conversion. It's just getting the tubeless wheels on and ready, and then we'll go to putting everything else on. Depending on how long this runs, might make this a couple episodes. So the first thing we're going to start with is we have our Spin Doctor compression tank here, and we're going to pump it up. We're going to start by pumping this thing up to the max 160 psi, okay, because we need to set the bead on the rim, and that's what we're going to do. So pump it up. And the thing is, if you use your pump full extent like this, it'll take less. We're already at 80 psi. We're at 120. You don't want to go above 160, but this pump won't go above 160, so we should be good. 140. Hour. Right about 160. Okay, so we're gonna obviously we gotta leave this hooked up. We're gonna get our valve core tool out. It's one of the things I keep in this little bag in my pack. This valve core tool right here. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna start with the rear. So like I said, we got our valve core tool out. We got our stands kit. Okay, so you can put this, you want to take this piece out with your stands kit. Your stands kit is going to come with some tubing, a syringe, like so. Okay, and you can actually dip this in, suck the stuff out like that. You get 50 milliliters. Or more. Some people will use more than the 50 milliliters. I'm probably going to use more than the 50 milliliters. I'm going to use a cup and a half, so we're going to use a little bit more than that. Okay, but this stuff flows pretty quick, so you want to take this out and suck it up using from here. So we have our stands tire sealant. And you want to make sure you shake this up really good. Another thing you want to do is, obviously you have that type of cap. So you can just dump it in there if you want to, using a cup, a little cup, those little sealant cups or something. But you don't have to. You could, in reality, if you just wanted to use this as a cup and dump it in that way, if you weren't going to take the valve core out, you can just take it, dump it in here, and then just dump it out that way as well. So we're going to shake this up for a couple seconds, get it all mixed up. Take a drink of our soda. So the next thing we want to do is we have our tires here. We're going to go ahead and cut the zip tie off. Be careful we don't cut the tire like so. Get this off. So we got the rear, which we want to make sure we got the right one. If you're buying the specific, now the cool thing with Maxxis Minions, you can use two rears or two fronts. Okay, you don't have to, but they make them, and if you're going to buy them that way, just put them on a specific way. Okay. The other thing we're going to look at, we want to make sure it goes the right direction. So our rim is going to be like this, spinning this way. Okay, so we want to make sure we put the tire on the right way, and we're looking for a direction of motion. Looking for a direction. So rotation, if you see right here, there's an arrow that says rotation. And if you actually look at the tire tread, if you notice these are more arrowed a little bit. So they're kind of triangular in shape. So you want it digging into it like this, the way the treads are cut, okay? So that's going to be rotation. So we're going to put it on like this. So the first thing we want to do, we're going to kind of get our pump and stuff out of the way for now, just so I can get this on. So the first thing you want to do is get the Maxxis portion. Now some people say, well, put the Maxxis above. I always put the logo, the main logo, above. And with Maxxis it's easy because you have the middle X. You can put that right above the stem right here, and you get that right there, and you don't have to worry about trying to line up your other logo that's on the other side, okay? So you just want to pop the one side of the bead onto rim like so. Okay, now one way you can do this we can make it a little easier is you can go, actually we're going to do this way, sorry. I'm going to put it inside like so. There we go. Let's do it this way. Okay, so we're going to get the Maxxis here. For this one, because I want to set the logo at the right spot, I'm going to start by getting the one side on first, and then going to the next side like so. Just like that, okay? And then you have a little bit of play, and you get the Maxxis logo right where you want it, right on the tire bead. Sorry, right over the right there. Okay, so the next portion, sometimes, like I said, some people will pour the sealant right in here. They get the bead on like so. We'll get the bead started, and then put the sealant in. Like so. But normally I don't do that. I like to seal the tire first. So just like that. And the big thing you need to do is make sure that at the top where the valve stem is, that it's not sitting on the other side of the valve stem. Like that, okay? Okay, so Then we have, now if at this time when you're removing the valve core, you just come on like so and remove it like this using your valve core remover. But we're going to put it back for now. We're not going to remove it just yet because I want to get the tire seated on the bead first, and then once the tire's on the bead, we'll deflate, remove the core, and then actually no, we don't even need to do that. We can remove this and then inflate it. So we're going to remove the valve core first. Sometimes I inflate it, get the bead on, and then once the bead is set, then put the sealant in. But we don't really have to do that this time like that. So one of the things, like I said, Stans recommends, and we're going to do, so I'm going to get some soap and water and a cloth, and we are going to put some soap and water on this. So I'll be right back. Okay, we got our soapy water on there. I didn't do it on camera because I don't have a bucket. I just have my sink. The whole soapy water, the whole point of the soapy water is to help when you push the air in, it helps the bead slip onto the tire. Now, some people, or onto the rim, into the bead of the rim. So some people will do that. Some people will do that. I'm going to point angle down so we can actually get a picture of this. So I'm going to take this piece out of the tube for the syringe. But some people want to do that separately, a little different. Me. Some people do it off the rim and then put it on there. Snap that on just like that. It doesn't have to be super tight. Some people will zip tie this on, but it's not a big deal. You don't have to. Shake this up really well. Like I said, you want to get all the little beads of silicone and all that stuff onto or into the middle of it. Let's take one of these stand sheets here. Okay, now I will tell you something that you're not going to probably need the syringe. I don't ever really use the syringe. I just kind of pour it in. And once it's halfway down, I do it again. I like lots of sealant in mine. Okay. So I let that get down all the way into. You can see a little bit came out here on the rim, but not a whole lot. We're going to undo this, put the valve core back in, and then we're going to spin it a little bit. I don't want to spin it as it is because I don't want the sealant to go everywhere. Even though it could still come out through parts of the wheel, or sorry, the tube. So we're going to just do a little bit of, and then the secret is that when I pump on I'll put this back up just a little bit, sorry about that. So when I use when I blow on this, it's going to be in an up position, so I'm not actually blowing into the sealant. Because if I don't, I'm going to blow into the sealant, and the sealant's going to come out through the sides, things like that. So I want this in the up position. Like so. And then I'm going to release the tube like that. Okay. And now, as you heard from that popping sound, that was the sound of the bead popping onto the rim. And then I can take and get any of the extra sealant that may have got on the rims from the bead popping. And also having that soap on there will help clean it off. So you want that popping sound. That popping sound is good. Bam, see? Okay. So now I got this pumped up as much as I want to with the booster. So I'm going to release the pressure on the bottom of the booster because I don't want to use the booster anymore. Okay. So I'm going to release this off the booster. I'm going to release this from here. I'm going to now put the pump directly on the on the tire because I want to see what kind of pressure I'm at right now. And I'm only sitting at, even though I pushed a lot of air into this thing, I'm still only sitting at like 20 psi. So because I want these to sit overnight, I'm going to get it to about 40 psi. It's kind of funny, these the Swelby are actually a little bit bigger, but these are going to have a less squirmy profile because these are such a wider rim than my WTBs. So I'm going to pull that off. We're going to do that up. I'm going to wipe off the extra gunk. Make sure valve cord is on all the way. Make sure the lock nut is on there. The nice thing about stands is if the valve stem twists, it's not going to hurt anything because of the fact that they're round. They don't have a weird profile of sealing seal on it. So that's, so now put our valve cap back on. And we can spin it a little bit. Okay, like so. And one of the things we're going to do while we're doing the other wheel, I'm going to set it like this to let it seal a little bit. Now, because these are tubeless ready, you won't really have to do that. Just spinning it about for a little bit will do. But you still want to make sure that the sealant is good to go. So we're going to let it sit like this for like 4 or 5 minutes and then flip it over. And by that time we'll be done with the other wheel. And we're just going to use our box to set it on off to the side. You can use a bucket but we're just going to use the box. Set it like that. And we're going to do our other wheel. So once again, we're going to start by pumping up our pressure tank to 140 or 50, sorry, 150 psi. Take another drink of our soda. Good stuff. We got this place out here in California that does custom cream soda. Absolutely the best. Absolutely the best. Everything out here, most of the soda is made with sugar cane. Comes from Mexico. Okay, so we're pumped up, ready to go for our next wheel. Okay, so here we go. It's our next wheel. On folder. Now, normally I just do one wheel and we'd be done with the tutorial. But as you guys know on my channel, I like to show you guys the whole process. So, this is our front wheel. DHF, downhill front. That's what it stands for. Okay, and they don't make a separate enduro. The tread is different, by the way, if you notice. So we're gonna look for the direction of use. So it goes this way, and if you look, these treads here, they got the little closer together thing, and then they spread out. That's your front. Also, these side knobs that got the L shape, the L goes towards the front roll direction. Okay, so once again, you come and you take your wheel, and this one is gonna rotate this way. So I want to put the wheel on to roll. I want to put it on this way like this. Okay, so once again, gonna put it like this. Got to get the Maxis in between the two X's where the valve is, like that, right? So 3 letters for Maxis right there, bam. Sorry, some of this is so I don't have a cameraman. Some of this is hard to do. You know, make sure I'm on camera. So you want to get most of the bead like so. You're just stretching the rest of it. A folding bead, it's a little easier to go on, pop just like that. Okay. Now, one of the things you can do at this point in time, if you really want to, is soap her up. Like I said, some people, depending on the wheels, the wheel set and the tires, if you don't have tubeless specific tires, you gotta soap it up, okay? But the cool thing with Stan's Nope Tubes, you 90% of the time, if you just follow their directions, you can use any tires, any wheels, and they'll work. So we're going to get the other bead on. You always start at one end, away from the stem, and then just pop on keeping your hands together like so. Should never have to use tire levers. It's tough. Don't get me wrong, it is a tough thing to do. But just like that. Just like that. So, be right back. I'm gonna soap this one up. Back, guys. I got it soaped up. Now, I've been using a rag. It's probably better if you use a sponge. You get a little bit more soapy water on there. But it's not a big deal. You don't absolutely have to. Of course, we know right where this is because of the Maxxis on there. So once again, remove our valve core. If the nut for the valve isn't on tight enough, you can tighten it up. If you have to, get some needle nose pliers. They get them on there tight, but they don't put them so tight. You don't want to over or tighten them because it is rubber on the other side, and you don't want to break the rubber seal. So, once again, we're going to get this on the bottom here. And you're going to thread this on. Fortunately, they make this in a plastic, so you can't cross thread it. And if for some reason this didn't thread on, you could just push this on there. So the interesting thing is Mavic uses stands. So when you get a Mavic set of wheels like I did with my Cosmics, which I did a video for you guys, if you guys want to see that, I'll have a link for that as well. For the road wheels. But that one pretty much uses the same kit, except the sealant is just enough to do the wheels. Use quite a bit less, by the way. This is why I don't put my brake rotors on. I think that's about an even amount of stands in both. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's never going to be 100%. The other thing is too, when you're done with these, make sure you wash them out, because you will regret it later. You'll be able to use this a lot longer if you keep it washed out. You can use these things over and over and over and over and over and over. Now some people will actually take and put the soapy water on the rim, but like I said, being the fact that everything is tubeless specific on these guys, it shouldn't matter. And we're gonna spin it just a little bit. We're not gonna do crazy. We're kind of a spin all the way around. Get the sealant in there. Now these tires, tubeless specific tires, you could blow them up and they would hold air. Problem is they're just not going to seal. So if you got a puncture, you're not going to get a seal. So once again, bam, just like so. Okay. Take that off. Wipe the extra junk off. I don't want to lose the air in there. We're gonna wipe the excess water off. So we got a good, nice snap on the bead. Stance tells you can bounce it up and down. Spin it like so. Okay. Now I'm going to set the wheel off for one side for 1 second because we're going to release the pressure once again. Pump up the tire. Just like that. Pop this off. Put our cover back on there. So we don't want this to stay in good shape. We're going to put that off to the side. And then we're going to take our, oops, sorry folks, bumped their camera. So we're going to pour ourselves back over here. Take our normal pump. Now, like I said, Stans makes this, you can use a normal pump. You don't even need the booster pump. But I prefer to do it with the booster pump or a compressor. We got about 40 psi in there. I don't really need more than that. They say let it sit like 40 psi. Should be good. Keep it with a little bit extra pressure in case one of the beads isn't fully on, it'll pop on it. If you put it too little to let it sit, you're not gonna, the sealant isn't gonna get inside the tire because the tire's fresh, it's brand new. Now you can actually then go and take your sponge and use it to clean off the extra stuff, but we're gonna take this tire and let it sit with our other one for about 5-10 minutes. Okay, so one thing you can also do, give it a good spin, work all the sealant around in there, okay, and then that should be good. Okay, so check the tightness on everything, make sure you're good to go, and that should be it. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. That's it for me today with this video. I'm gonna divide it up into a couple of sections. So the next video will be putting the disc rotors on and putting the cassette on the wheel. I'll show you how to do that, and then I'll probably do a third video dealing with the fork and get everything back on the bike. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that like button, and you can leave a comment in the comment section below. If you liked it, also make sure you click up here to subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out, and then you can get notifications. And if you click up here as well, there is another video taking you to the first one where we talk about and do the unboxing of the new stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and keep riding.